gods, devil, devil spawns, heroes, a flying talking squirrel that can somewhat see into the future. You heard me. Hello, everyone. I am the spirit writer. I am an author on VoiceMe, and as you can see, we're doing another little review, rating, whatever you want to call it, on another VoiceMe story. And this time, we're doing it on Devilup. Now, where do I start when it comes to Devilup? Well, first, the creator of this manga, or story, or you want to call it, well, it's mostly comic manga, since it's not. Whatever. Anyway, the author goes by Jungo. He has like 3 profiles, I guess. So I'll just put the first one I followed on screen. He is one of the coolest authors on VoiceMe. And now let's start with before I actually do the rating, there's like a good amount of chapters in, about like 51 or 52 chapters around there. So I'm going to do a quick little recap, I guess you could call it that. But I'm also going to try to avoid big spoilers. But if you have read it already and watching this review or rating, you're fine. You don't need to worry about the big spoilers because you read it. You already know what's going on. But the ones that are seeing this that haven't read the story, and if you're coming around to reading it, I'm gonna try to avoid big spoilers. There may be a little here and there, but they're not gonna be real big spoilers. Anyway, let me do this little quick recap thing. I'm trying to get to a certain point. I'm not gonna do all the chapters, just a certain point, certain chapter point. Anyway, the story starts off with the main character just waking up in hell and meeting the devil named Alistair. And you get to see, I guess, why. I don't really remember why he was sent to hell. It shows why he was killed, because we see that Alistair tells them Alistair asks Silas, why didn't you train your powers? If he would have been, I guess, strong. But the reason he means by that is because some people in this story of whatever world, some good amount of people will be, I guess, blessed by a star. I think that's what it's called. They're just blessed when a star comes to them, and they end up gaining a power from that star. And how do you say this? There's also some certain lucky people that become blessed by a planet, and if they become blessed by a planet, they are called Harlem Heroes. We'll get to them later on. But for now, some certain people will get blessed by stars, just have little powers or something. And at first, Silas didn't have any as he was young, until he grew up and got one, apparently. But he was already okay with not having one and living a good life. So he didn't train as much because he was already okay with his life, and he just felt that, well, if anything ever happens, the Harlem Heroes will come save us. Like, they will stop monsters from attacking us, whatever that tries to attack the people from from the kingdom or towns, they'll be here. That's what he was going with. But ends up regretting it because a big monster ends up attacking his town, and well, the heroes didn't show up. And he tried to save his family, I guess. But his family was already dead, his parents. And he ends up losing Mai, I think you say her name like that. Which is, anyway, Mai or May, I think you'd say. I stick at names, you know that. But anyway, I'm gonna go with May. He loses her too. And when he dies that's when he wakes up in hell. But when he woke up and met Alistair, the devil, they basically give him like an offer, well, like a second chance. Basically saying, well, I could send you back, but you're gonna have to be a devil spawn and collect souls for me. But that's when Silas kind of starts losing it, because he was calling himself weak. He feels like he deserves to be there because he couldn't save his parents, he couldn't save the woman he loved. He lost them all. So he just felt that he shouldn't be going back. But I guess Alistair took that personally because he started beating the hell out of Silas. And even though Alistair basically was telling him, don't you want revenge? For the monster that killed your parents? And he said, yeah. But he was still saying no, he's not gonna go back. So this made Alistair think of something that could make Silas go back, which was apparently hold on to my soul. I forgot her name. Oh my god. Anyway, the soul of the one he loved. I'm just gonna say that. Alistair just said, alright. If you go back, I'm gonna hold her soul. Nothing's gonna happen to her. Do we got a deal? That's what is basically going on between them. So it kind of made Silas go back because, well, he had to make sure her soul is safe and doesn't get harmed. But when he does go back, he feels like, let me just start off with, probably like a few little animals. So he needs to kill one living thing to collect. So he collects the first soul, making him transform. He got there, he hasn't been transformed yet. He needs to kill at least one living thing to transform first and get like the powers. But he couldn't kill the animal that he saw because some asshole named Enzo showed up, end up trying to kill Silas, but ends up getting helped by a person named Cedric, who's with Enzo and some other group of people who's also been attacked by the monsters. It's just the survivors of some other town. Anyway, we get to meet Cedric, Emmy, I think the sister of Cedric, and like I said, where we met Enzo, that asshole. But they end up having Silas join them on their journey to some castle, because apparently Cedric and Emmy got like a message from someone. We find out who it is a few chapters later on, but they say, come come join us because he could be safe too. Because Silas basically just told him, well, he's the only survivor of his town. He can't tell him that he's a devil spawn, so he joins him. But when they finally get to that castle, they see that, well, it's empty, and the person, they still gotta wait like a good amount of time for the one that sent the message to come and rescue them. But that's when the asshole Enzo just wants to get revenge on those people, get revenge, and basically awakens, I don't remember his name, but he's basically awakens the Goblin King and a bunch of goblins. So he ends up getting knocked the hell out, so Enzo deserved that crap. Anyway, Cedric tells Silas, Emmy, and the others, run, escape. He will distract them. Even though they went against the idea a bit, Cedric said, I'm like the only one that could handle it. Like, they at least distract them for them to escape. So they find the Emmy, Silas, and the others go, since they can't really help at that moment. But once they get to a safe spot, Emmy feels like she should go back and help her brother, which ends up being a good time for Silas to collect souls now, to sneak somewhere and to collect souls. But I guess he ends up feeling like he needs to go help too. So I think Alistair was against it. I don't really remember, but he does go and help. Well, Cedric was almost basically already getting beaten up to a certain point, and I guess I forgot when Emma shows up. But when Silas got there, he thought of an idea, thinking he could at least kill one goblin at least, so he could transform finally. And he fails, and as it kind of takes a good little amount of chapters for him to finally transform, but he finally does. He doesn't kill the goblin, but by the way, he transforms by killing someone else. I was gonna tell you, it was Enzo. Screw Enzo, bro. Well, I kind of feel bad for him a bit when I saw Enzo's little backstory, but still, never mind, Enzo was okay. But either way, it's just, I didn't know how to feel about him, but whatever. Anyway, it kind of takes a good amount of time for Silas to transform. He finally does though, and he starts killing all the goblins and starts leveling up in power. But his bloodlust, of the devil bloodlust or whatever it's called, starts to get the best of him, and he takes on the Goblin King, which was a bad idea because Alistair told him, you're not ready, your bloodlust is taking over, don't do it. But he didn't listen, starts fighting the Goblin King. I think he was killing a little more of the other goblins, the minions, like the little weak goblins, so he could level up a little more. But it wasn't enough time. He was distracting them enough time because Cedric ended up coming back in the battle, helping Silas, and they were actually getting the best of the Goblin King, which is great. But the Goblin King apparently transforms, and well, anyway, he transforms. Stuff starts kind of going the other way for them. Like, they were kind of losing the upper hand now. But they get saved by a Harlem hero. And they get saved by the man, the myth, the legend, Otis. Yes, the flying squirrel. Anyway, moving on from that, but they get saved by those two, the Harlem Hero and Otis. And well, for a little amount of time, because Jasmine, I think I say her name right, that's her name, the Harlem Hero, she comes and saves them. They're okay for that little moment of time, because apparently Cedric and Emmy know the Harlem Hero, so they, I guess, catching up a bit. But that's when the Goblin King kind of comes back up, wants to get revenge for Jasmine doing that big attack on him, but didn't kill him. But that's when Silas comes in for the win, kills the damn Goblin King, levels up a good amount, and there you go, the Goblin King's dead. But that's when Jasmine, the Harlem Hero, sees Silas, and they have a little discussion between each other, because he's a devil spawn, and the Harlem Hero has apparently been killing the devil spawns. Even though Alistair warned him, the bloodlust got the best of him again. Silas and Jasmine fought, and Jasmine was getting the upper hand. So before he could get killed, that's when Emmy saves him by saying, "Don't kill him." I'm trying to remember what she said, but she convinces Jasmine, the Harlem Hero, to not kill Silas. There you go. Cool. Anyway, she just knocks him out. They take Silas, Cedric, Emmy, whoever. I keep messing her name. They take them and the other survivors to like a little island where a bunch of other survivors are. But from those chapters, from when they get to the island, they kind of choose if Silas should live or not, see his past, his memory. They see, I forgot who, but so they use someone to see his memories and see why Silas became the devil spawn, what he lost, and all that. You basically get to learn more about Silas, and we get to learn more about him too, from his backstory. And we end up getting to learn who are the ones that summoned those monsters. I ain't gonna say, but it's a big twist. But yeah, I'm just gonna stop it right there, because right at that point, that's when the latest chapters start coming in. So I recommend, if you haven't read it, I recommend go reading it. If you have read it already, great. You don't need to read it. You're already caught up. But the one, like I said, the ones that haven't read it yet and plan on reading it, go read it. If you've just seen this review and don't want to read it, that's fine. But if you plan on reading it, go read it. This is where the recap stops. Now, onto the rating. I would say this story is an 8.5 out of 10. I love the story, I love the art, I love the characters, like, it's great. This team that worked on this story, or manga, whatever you want to call it, have done a great job. I love it. Most of the characters, I'm not a fan of, but there's always going to be some characters you won't like, some characters you do like. Just waiting for those characters that I don't like to get beat the hell out of by Silas. I can't wait to see Silas beat the hell out of him. Anyway, the only thing that somewhat did get me was that it took a good amount of time till Silas finally transformed. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I did see most readers saying they wanted to drop the story because of it. I stuck around, and I'm glad I did, because it was interesting even though he wasn't transformed yet. But when he finally transformed, it got better. And again, I'm glad I stuck around. It got better. It's a good story. So again, I'm rating this story an 8.5 out of 10. Hopefully in the future, when more chapters come in, more as it continues, my rating, I might do another little recap thing or something like this, and my score might probably go up for it. But for now, I'm just gonna leave with 8.5 out of 10. It's still, to me, one of the higher up stories I've read lately. Voice me. Anyway, if you like this review, and also if you're a fan of this story that I just did the recap and the rating on, then leave a like or a comment. But if you have not heard of this story yet, or you are interested in these kinds of stories, I would recommend giving it a read. It will be the best way to show support to the author. Jungo will actually love having more people reading it, even though it's already a good amount of people reading it. But still, it's always the best way to just get more readers to read it, because it's a good story. It's just kind of slow. That's it. That's the only little downside that was for me. Anyway, now I hope you all enjoyed this quick review, and hope to see you all in the next one.